Howdy again, folks. Well, if you can see that, depending on how hard I push, I'm bench testing my axle pump again. I got a little water reservoir here, the axle pump itself, a Phillips head screwdriver to actuate it, and a little pressure gauge over there tied to the other end of this wooden pump, or wooden woodworking clamp, Jorgensen clamp. But yesterday I did this. I was pressure testing it, and I didn't have a hose clamp on the bottom here, and I actually got up to 180 with this pump, 180 psi, and it blew the head of the gauge right off. So my whole point in showing this is I wanted to double check the axle pump operation, and what it was not that effective before, but I ended up replacing the O-ring on it. And now it's got, when you work the air bubbles out of it and actuate it like I was just doing, you could probably see it even just pumping it with my left hand there, which is not my strong side. I was able to get it up over 120, 125 pretty routinely. So I'm pretty confident the axle pump, I think the problem with the axle pump was I built it 5 years ago, and the O-ring that I put in there back then was the original O-ring. So it was a 5-year-old O-ring. When I took it out, it was fairly brittle feeling. And so I think that was just the issue. I am glad I took this out. You can see what the axle pump looks like, and you can get an actual pressure reading on it and see that it does in fact produce a lot of pressure. So the other thing that I've been working on is that I've tracked down what the potential issues were. And when I was working on the axle pump, I realized that I had leaks at a couple of these fittings here. So I don't know if it was a improper silver solder joint, probably was. So I took those apart yesterday and re-silver soldered those joints. You can see where I cleaned them all up here, and that should be fine now. So hopefully the issue with the axle pump is addressed. And in case you're wondering, I blocked off the boiler check valve thing there just to get a steady return here back, and I actually had that pressure gauge on the return line over here. So I was trying to read the pressure. That's when I discovered I had the leaks. So the leaks are fixed, the O-ring's replaced, the axle pump is bench tested. It's going to go back in probably tomorrow night, and then the next thing I'll do, I'll get back working on the tender, installing the hand pump in the tender, and we'll get it ready for another steam test sometime soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll keep you posted.